Thanks so much, everybody. Welcome back to the Baz Reviews YouTube channel. Hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe, testing negative, staying positive in this very tough and uncertain time. And with me right now is the San Luis Obispo-based band, Honey Boys. They'll be talking about their new single, Da Vinci, among other things. How you guys doing today?
Woo! Awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's hard over Zoom. I didn't want to talk over someone else, but yeah, we're doing great. I mean,
That's great.
I think a lot of us just moved back to SLO, so it's really nice to be back, in a new location, new vibes and stuff. I've been in Napa for like the last 10 months, so it's really nice to be here.
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with Napa Valley, right? I mean, it's just so beautiful, picturesque in a way.
Definitely. I couldn't go wine tasting though. I mean, I turned 21 in December. Wow. So fortunate. Still got to drink some wine at home. It was fun.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, first of all, the four of you gentlemen, congratulations on the success you guys had in 2020. Very big year, almost 350,000 streams on Spotify. That's huge. How have you guys, all reacted to the newfound success in a way? Like, what have been some of the best and worst things to have come from it?
I would say we've definitely ramped up our production, our production skills and our basically like the sounds or how our music sounds sonically. We've definitely upgraded that since like we've gotten some like good feedback from our other songs. Cause like I don't know if you noticed, but like our first song to like our latest one is like a little bit of a production difference. But yeah, we definitely like worked on that a lot. We've all been like honing our craft a lot more. I would say at least. And that's been good as well. So yeah.
Really quick. But I would just say like the community aspect, like Cal Poly already has like such an amazing like musical community where like all the collaborative artists kind of like mesh together. And it's just like a really supportive and like great thing. And even through COVID and with us releasing songs, we've still seen a lot of support with the SLO community. So huge shout out to San Luis Obispo for all the people that don't know what SLO stands for. But yeah, it's just awesome. A lot of people reach out to us too, even with regards to like cover art or animations. And there's so many talented artists around here too. So it's just great to like see them and get to like communicate and look at their work as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. But tell me a little bit more about like the music scene in San Luis Obispo. Do you guys play like a lot of house shows? Do you guys play local venues? Like, tell me a lot about some of the live shows which have been sort of robbed in this, almost, it's crazy to think, a year of, uncertainty as we just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, we were really new into the house show scene. Freshman year, I know that I didn't really go to any house shows. And then sophomore year, once, the band kind of formed, I started getting more into the indie DIY house show scene, which was really, really thriving in San Luis Obispo at the time. I had heard from, my roommate was like a fifth year. She said that it really died down. But I think that year, last year in 2020, it really started to come back. We had tons of house shows in the fall. We were fortunate enough to like play some shows with some other really, really amazing bands around SLO. And then I also hosted 2 or 3 shows at my house, with our band and other great artists. And it was just really fun to see the community come together and just to see how many people supported live music. And it's something that I hope will like, come back once COVID and the vaccine is all figured out.
Feeling like a deadline has really like made me work harder and just like learn new things about like the whole process. I think that's just been great for me, just in my personal like music process. And I don't know, I think the other stuff I don't really like. I like the community too is amazing for like generating like album art and all that. That's a whole nother level to like just the art of just releasing a song. But
yeah. I totally agree with you, Reese. And like, just kind of going back to your first question, and touching upon, you were saying like how has it made us feel to get these streams, even though like numbers, they really don't matter. We're making this music for ourselves, and that's really what I think we started doing. Is we were just like in the studio making music that made us happy, and we were just like hoping that other people and you know, at these shows it was making people happy, and we were hoping, you know, if we put it out, you know, hopefully a bigger audience could hear it. And it was definitely like affirming, you know, to all of us to know that like people like our music. It's like it's cool to know that as a musician, because as much as like artists love to make stuff for themselves, it's also nice to like be heard and to have like people like appreciate your art, you know. I think that's definitely something that most humans strive to do, you know, is to be appreciated by others as well.
Very well
So.
said. Very well said. But like, how did you guys all first meet each other? Did you guys meet at Cal Poly or through some other outlet, I suppose?
Reese.
No, no, I love the way Matt tells the story though.
You got it.
Okay.
But I'll just start it like Matt
How
and
about
I.
how about all started when I met you, and then you explain it when you met with everything else.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, because Reese is sort of the one that kind of brought us together. But anyway, we were all, so throwback to a year and a half ago. It's the summer coming into our college year, and here at Cal Poly we have this thing called orientation, which is like a day during the summer where you basically have a little sleepover on campus, and kind of just get oriented with like the dorms and like the way that the campus is set up. So I came in. I only drove like 3 hours from the Bay, and Reese flew in from Boston. And my friend, who I actually came up with, was in a Facebook chat, and so we met up with a bunch of these kids from all over, like California, and other people from other states as well. And I remember just being there and just kind of feeling a little bit out of place. Like a lot of the kids were kind of all I kind of wanted to do was party. Like it was like the first night, and obviously, like, you know,
Yeah, I just
you
wanted
want
to
to
like
get to
get
meet
to know you
people.
guys.
Yeah,
And
but
not
we
just
were
talk
just
about that kind of stuff.
yeah, like we weren't just trying to like do that. And so I ended up talking to Reese that day, and the most distinct scene is just when later that night at 9 o'clock, like it was just me and Reese talking about music, and everyone else was just talking about like other stuff. And me and Reese just kind of clicked. We just talked about music and like what we want in college and stuff. And Reese was just like, Matt, like I'm looking like start a band in college. And I'm like, yeah, Reese, like I'm super down. But I didn't really understand how serious he was at the moment. And, you know, he hit me up like 3 weeks later and we jammed, and I was like, holy shit, like Reese is really good at guitar.
Yeah, I
and
just remember showing a video of you like playing drums to my parents because I had like a hotel with them because I was just like with my family.
yeah,
And like,
so
dude, I could just like from your jazz fills and stuff, I was just like, they just loved you. And like, I don't know.
yeah, dude. And like basically since then, that's my stories, how I met Reese. And then I ended up meeting Grady and Ari after. Reese can tell the story, but it all started with that conversation over the summer when I met Reese, and he said, I want to start a band. I was like, all right, that's awesome.
Then I saw
Yeah.
Grady playing this Jacob Collier cover that he posted on Instagram. And like the way he did the chords was just like, I could tell he had a really good sense of like music theory and like jazz. And I just wanted to start a band based on like jazz, like with other people at college, and just focus on that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
like when I heard him play, I just knew, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just hit him up on Instagram, DM, and I just like really wanted to just jam with him.
Yeah.
I just knew he was really talented. Wanted, I don't know, solidify that connection and do an actual band.
Yeah, no. Reese and I were also in like this music product, or no, that was Reese and I. Right? Reese and I were also in a jazz combo for Cal Poly. Like we got thrown together randomly by like the jazz director to play this one like cocktail gig.
Yeah, I remember be like, oh, I remember you.
Yeah, and Reese showed up like 30 minutes late. But yeah, that was the first time I like met Reese in person. But yeah, then he texted me later on Instagram and like invited me to come jam. But yeah, Ari, do you want to tell the story with you and Reese?
Yeah, and like MPU.
Yeah, for sure. So basically kind of coming into that year, you know, I never started a band in SLO. I was kind of disappointed in myself. I wanted to, you know, like start making music with people again, performing live. Because I had a band in high school, and like, I just hadn't performed freshman year at all. So I ended up, falling in love with kind of jazz and the whole crooner vibe over the summer, like Frank Sinatra type stuff. And I was just like, wow, I would love to just play with amazing musicians. So I met Reese at a music production club at Cal Poly, and we clicked instantly. He came over to my place. We were just like jamming, kind of recording. It was more like making beats together, kind of like he would be recording into my studio setup. And then we start making a beat and layering on stuff and then thinking of vocals and whatnot. And then we brought in Grady to record piano on these recordings. And we were like, wow, this sounds great. And then we were like, hold up, let's just have a whole band. And then I know, Reese knew Matt. So we called him up. He was like, yo, let's practice. And we ended up playing our first show. And then just everyone started recording on the songs and kind of collaborating. And, that's kind of how it came to be, is that like, I don't know, we just wanted to have a certain style live, where it's very jazz band, very like everyone just kind of knew their stuff. And then in terms of recorded, we wanted to just experiment and have no like limitations within what we were recording, like, because I'd been in a band in high school that had really been just like guitar, drums, bass, vocals, like nothing that we didn't do live could be in the recordings. And because we had so much versatility and just more of an open mind with this band, we were able to just do whatever, just make whatever music made us happy, rather than just feeling limited in the recording realm.
That's great. Yeah. But it seems like from the last question there, I hope my hunch isn't too wrong, that a lot of you guys are into jazz. You guys have played a lot of different jazz music. But what other influences, like, maybe more specifically albums or artists, inspired all of you guys to want to start a music career in the first place?
Well, I don't know. Maybe so. One of my big inspirations is Jacob Collier, but like I don't know if he was the one that like made me want to like do music. I'm just like really inspired by his harmonic palette and stuff, and the way that I write music. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if I have like one artist that I can say that got me into like wanting to make music, but it's just like they help me when I do, sort of thing. But yeah, like Jay Collier, Weezer, songwriting wise, love Weezer. Yeah.
I would say like Jimi Hendrix is probably like my biggest inspiration, and a lot of like modern guitarists too are really inspired by his playing. But like I used to really love like John Mayer, Jimi Hendrix type like jazzy stuff, and that's what really inspires my playing with this band. So also like Red Hot Chili Peppers, John Frusciante, the way he plays that really like basically playing the chords and the melody at the same time. That like kind of play style is really like what I use in like my songs with the band, is just like a really layered kind of thick sound. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always been like just really into performing. That's kind of where I started in music, is just being a performer. And I really only got into recording my like senior year. So just in terms of performing, I've always just been inspired by like Cage the Elephant, Imagine Dragons. I went to these concerts when I was young, and I was just blown away by their performance. Not only the music that they made and they put out, but also just like what a show they put on. And I really wanted to do that. And I realized how important it was to live music. Is like, if you're not dancing on stage, no one else is going to be dancing in the audience. So I was just kind of realizing how important that was. And then in terms of recording, I'm definitely inspired by like people like Still Woozy, um, Remy Wolf. I don't know. There's all these like kind of like indie artists that are combining kind of dance, hip hop with indie, kind of rock and like those styles and jazz. And I just love the combination of genres that you can do when you're recording music. So that's what I think as a band, we really strive to like just combine genres and not feel constricted to one necessarily.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. This is kind of a curveball, but for drumming, at least, it was Nick Cannon. My favorite movie when I was growing up was Drumline. where Nick Cannon plays like a snare drum player at this college, and I just remember watching it and being like, wow, all I want to do is drum. And yeah, when I was like 4, my parents gifted me like a little snare drum, like a wrap around my neck. Thought that was cool. But what inspires me to play like musically, um, I did jazz band in like high school and middle school and like drumline and stuff. But I'm really just inspired by like artists that are always happy. So like that's a lot of mainstream people like Dua Lipa, and but I also really love like Dominic Fike. I'm a huge Dominic Fike fan. But drumming wise, I just play like what like I just play beats that make me happy. I don't think I could relate it to a single artist.
Very nice. It seems like you guys have a very, as Ari kind of touched on, a very diverse palette of influences, which is great. Ari, as you were mentioning, Remy Wolf, actually, unreleased interview with her longtime collaborator Solomon Aphonic. Not sure if you're.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know him. But yeah, I mean, he makes pretty good music. I mean,
Yeah, he's a great producer.
he's a great producer. Like Remy Wolf stuff, like I'm obsessed with that, and that's why like I got into him as well. It's
Right.
like, wow, that's sick. I'm pretty sure he's also Jewish.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure. I'd assume so.
He might be possible. We may never know.
I think so. Solomon, I'm pretty sure.
We may never know. But yeah, no, especially because Remy's had a lot of success with like that, that hello song. That's
Oh, yeah,
on
the TikTok, yeah, it started blowing up.
right. Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of great stuff there. But what is like the significance behind the band's name of Honey Boys? I think it's definitely very creative. If anyone wants to touch on that, I'd love to hear.
Yeah. So I just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like, I don't know. I just randomly came up with the name. I remember I was like hanging out with Reese, kind of before we even started like, performing as a band. I don't think Grady or Matt really had much say in the name. And like, I don't know. I just thought of it randomly and I was like, this would be kind of sick. And I was just thinking of all like the different things that could go along with Honey Boys. Like the music that we were making was so like positive already and so happy and uplifting, kind of unlike music that I had made in the past, which was more emotional and sad. And so I was just thinking of honeybees and flowers and just like sunshine vibes and just like doing some collage art, having rainbows. And it just like had this whole vision once I thought of the name, and like everyone else in the band, I hope everyone else likes it, and it's just like, I don't know. I thought it was just super positive and we could use a lot of different, images and little animations for it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. But I think probably the main focus of this interview, as I mentioned at the top, I wanted to know a little bit about the writing process on your new single, Da Vinci, that dropped on January 15th. Everybody should definitely go listen to that. Link is down in the description. But how did it kind of differ from some of your past releases?
Mhm.
Well, for writing this song, I just like a lot of the songs with this band I kind of create with a loop on guitar, just like a little melody, and I just like it's pretty simple, it's just chords and a melody. And I don't really I think of lyrics after, the music is kind of laid down. And then for Da Vinci, I like Ari wrote a lot of the lyrics too, but I just kind of had this kind of like dun, 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 kind of like swinging kind of rhythm. And I wanted it to be kind of a throwback to like the 50s, like the days of kind of like simple kind of rockabilly kind of stuff. And that's kind of what like inspired me with this, I don't know, to kind of like make this something really like powerful, but also kind of a vintage kind of feel.
Yeah.
But, all right, what do you think when I like, what was your process for this song?
I think that like the way that this song kind of differed from some of our other releases in the past is that this was really a song that we wrote together as a band. Like I Just Want to Know, for instance, Reese kind of brought that song. And of course we collaborated on some lyrics and, even, the melody and stuff like, but just the way that song was constructive, it was a little bit less collaborative. Whereas Da Vinci was really like, Reese brought this hook and brought the chords to a band practice, and we just Like literally after we practiced for a bit, we all just sat there and kind of wrote out the whole entire song, like wrote out the bridge and wrote out kind of like, all right, we're gonna do the second verse, we're gonna do this build up, blah, the whole like drum build up and stuff. And that was really special. And it felt like a big moment for us as a band to really write something all together rather than kind of like bringing in something separately. Of course, it always starts with like, the initial riff that Reese brought. And, you could say that's a huge part of the song, especially because the vocals follow that melody. But I think the song also differs in that it's a lot more of a live sound. It's a lot more lively. It really embodies like a college house party, which is what we would play the song at. This was our closer when we play live shows. And it was just so amazing to see how hyped the crowd would get when we played the song. We have a lot of like slow, super chill, like R&B songs that are really fun to play live because we'll speed them up and just make them hype for the crowd. But like this song is truly just like a hype fun sorry, a hype fun song that everyone can get down to, which is really cool. So I think that's what kind of differs. It has that more vintage live drum feeling that some of our other songs don't really have.
Think sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Grady. I just think
You
it's
go.
crazy. I think it's crazy that we kind of already had like this song ready. Like it was one of our first songs, like I already just mentioned, we played at all the house shows. But like I just remember singing this in the shower, like in my dorm, like in my like singing it so all my roommates could hear, and it was just awesome. And it's just crazy that we're releasing it now, especially just over quarantine. We've changed a few lyrics. We had a little lyric change, like a few months before we released it, so like a month or two ago. We changed some lyrics. We added a bridge section. Reese wrote this amazing guitar part, and it's just crazy to see how the song's developed. It's truly a unique experience, because like we've never written a song like Da Vinci before. So I'm just really excited to have us release it. Just really excited for people to hear.
That's great for you guys. Congratulations on all the success that all the single has had. But I was just curious to know, like, what would you guys say is more important to you when you guys are crafting songs, like the lyricism aspect or the production value and instrumentation? It's a question that I ask a lot of people I interview, well, pretty much everyone. But I'm just curious to see what you guys think.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at that one. I think at least Reese and I, we like to focus on like
Yeah.
the music part of it first before we write lyrics, because I don't know if any of us are really good lyricists, but like if
I
we
feel
if
like
we
the
just
word
kind of,
transcends language sometimes.
yeah,
And I
it's
think like lyricism is really like poetic and it can say a lot. But for me, a lot of the songs that like move me are like move it through like music. But I know a ton of people who don't feel as strongly about that. But my take is like the music is like what should come first.
Yeah.
But like even though I love great lyrics that stick with me.
yeah, like we're musicians before we're
Yeah.
poets.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
But-
completely 100% agree. Like even being the vocalist and the one, a lot of times creating the lyrics and whatnot. I mean, that's kind of the whole reason why I didn't just like, have a solo project, and like could have been a lot simpler, if I were to do something else, just acoustic guitar and my voice, it's going to be a lot more focus on the lyrics. But I'm all about the music, and that's really what I love about our band is that like we just like really focus on the music and the melodies, trying to add in so many different melodies. And a lot of times like the lyrics, we can have some interesting lyrics in there, but I think that's something that we're trying to continue to improve, and to create better, more memorable lyrics. I think that we've really gotten the whole musical side of things not locked into place, but I feel like we've been figuring that out. But in terms of like lyrics, like it's definitely always it's hard to really create something that's cohesive and really hits home to like each person that listens to it.
Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting perspective. Like, I think to your point, Ari, it's a lot easier to nail down like a sonic, I guess, identity rather than like lyrics, because to your point, it's really hard to kind of pinpoint which lyrics are going to land with which people. So yeah, I think as a reviewer, as a person in general, I think like I am personally more drawn to the music myself because it's like, if in the first like 30 seconds I can kind of decide whether I vibe with it or not. But like with lyrics, it's like I have to listen to the song multiple times, even like 10 or 20, just to really appreciate or understand what it's saying lyrically.
Yeah, totally. I think that being like a pop band, we've tended to write lyrics that are more, general and less specific, less indie, some would say. So like we're just kind of learning to like kind of be a little bit more descriptive and, kind of have some more imagery in our lyrics rather than just kind of being general pop lyrics and like kind of learning the balance between the two so that we can do it right.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So I guess switching gears here, like I know you guys only have a few songs out right now, singles wise, but like what are each of your favorite songs to have made together, and like why is it? Like, are there any like fun memories behind them? Like, I'm interested to hear because I know you guys are four people. Maybe people have different reasons for liking specific songs. I hope I'm not starting anything. I hope not, but anyone can start.
I just remember playing Da Vinci in San Luis Obispo at this donut shop called Slodoko, and there's a build up where it goes like dun 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 dun, and it builds up. And I just remember like playing it and looking at Reese, and Reese is like looking at me, and he's jumping up and down at the same time. And at that moment, I was just like, this is really what like Honey Boys is all about. Like just having a fun time, jamming, jumping up and down, and just even having that connection with Reese, even though there's so many people and like like with the whole band. I just thought it was so cool. So I'm really excited, and I think I would say that Da Vinci is my favorite song just because it's such a happy and uplifting song. Uh, yeah.
It's hard for me to nail down a song, but I would say one of my favorite songs by us is Yo Yo. Even it's like our least popular song, but I love Yo Yo because when we played it live, like Ari went crazy, like one and like people were just like knocking over our equipment and stuff. They're like jumping around, just knocking over our stuff, running into Matt's drums. Like everyone was just going crazy, and it's like this song like recorded is like pretty like chill and slow. Like there's like a build up and stuff, but like when we play it live, it's just awesome. And I remember like working on the recording for that. We'd like drive to Ari's house, and then we'd be like bumping it in the car, and it's like we were so excited because it was like we were coming off of our first release with from oh, I just want to know, and it's like yo like we were excited, almost too excited, and we released it like pretty early afterwards, and didn't get as much love as the other one, but yeah, I don't know that that's my favorite song, or one of my favorite songs. But yeah.
I have to say Grapevine just because I think that's when we really honed our production and we like spent time all as a band like talking about stuff and like we really made it all of our own. But we also just spent a ton of time just making it the most that it could be. So I think that's the first time we really just gave it all that we could. Okay.
I want to see you, dude.
Yeah, Reese, we haven't really seen you this whole interview, man. I feel bad.
Yeah,
I don't even like to show my face though. I'm just like really self-conscious.
Oh, for sure, Reese, for sure. That's not true. I
I'm
was
just someone who just like I just like don't look at mirrors.
You're like a vampire, dude. You can't look at your reflection, otherwise you're gonna melt. Is that a vampire thing? I don't think so.
No.
Isn't that Medusa,
There's-
right? If you look at it in the mirror, it's like your face. No, you don't melt. You turn to stone. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Just like voice memos, like when you hear your voice, you're just like, oh, I don't like to hear that. That's just like how I feel about that.
Show. I think, yeah, dude, I agree with you, Reese. Like, as much as I want to say, I just want to know, because like, I just want to know was just like, it was that special, like, it was that spark, and I had a really fun time, creating that with all the guys. And I felt like we recorded it and it was done, and then we remixed it, and then we remixed it again, and then we released it. You know, it was like a real process. Like, spent the most time, or I wouldn't even say the most time, but like we didn't even like, we were just like making music. We weren't thinking about when we're going to release it. We were just trying to perfect that song. Whereas I feel like every time after this has been like, all right, we need to continue to release music so that we don't like just go dark for like 6 months. You know, we need to continue to work on music. And that's why I was really proud of us doing Grapevine. And I want to talk about Grapevine because that was the first time that like I really kind of came out of my performer mindset. And I felt like all the other songs, I was like, I'm gonna sing this like I was performing it. And I realized like, wait, I can do like, I have this new falsetto that I can do, and like I had all these other kind of vocal harmony things I was thinking of that I would never do live, that I wanted to experiment with Honey Boys, you know, with on Grapevine. Like the very end of Grapevine Part 2, you know, with Grady, we all harmonize and we do this like really like high up falsetto thing that like I just, you know, I'd never done as a vocalist before. I think it was very experimental and very like, you know, we've never even played that song live as a band ever. We have never even practiced it once as a band. I think that hopefully the guys are going to come over tonight and we can like run through that maybe once, because it's just so crazy that we recorded that, we wrote it all over the internet, and we've never even performed it together. So I think it was definitely a special song because of that, and it was so good that we just didn't want it to end, and that's why it ended up being like 5 minutes and 30 seconds the whole thing. So we just like, we probably could have extended that even another couple minutes and we would have been happy. But I think it was also like cool to kind of go into a little bit, I wouldn't even call it prog, but just kind of a little bit less poppy, you know, to an extent, you know, on the Part 2 side of things, more instrumental, more like, you know, I would love for us to go towards that route, because most of our songs so far have been very structured, have been very pop oriented, and it'd be nice to like continue to go more towards like, you know, alternative rock with like more instrumental parts and whatnot. So yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So you guys are gonna be like another California band, Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead, go down with some jams, some long ones.
Yes, we just don't jam that much. You know, all of our songs are
Yeah.
very structured. And there's like, we have like in our live set, we had like 1 or 2 songs where we're like, all right, we're gonna jam for like however long we want. Everyone can solo. And that's sick to do. But I think even just writing it into our music would be even better. I mean, I don't think we'll ever become a straight up like jam band. Nothing against jam bands. Like that's so much fun to just jam out. But I think it would be cool to have more instrumental sections like Grapevine Part 2. And it definitely like extended our like, and just stretched our like musical, you know, like of what we know about how to write a
Mhm.
song. Yeah. We wanted to do more than just like verse, chorus, verse, bridge, you know, just like that whole structure, you know, that I've known for so long. So
Very nice. Very nice. But like knowing everything you do now about music, each of you guys, like what is one thing you would tell your past selves about?
One maybe like my past self would think that I'm kind of crazy, but like that you're gonna be in a band that like people know, you know, like that people have heard of before, and like they'll and you'll be together with all these like awesome musicians just making music. Like going into college, I was just like, oh yeah, okay, I can do aerospace engineering. I'll do like jazz combos, like I'll do that. But I never thought that I'd just like be in an awesome band like this. Um, but yeah, I would also tell my past self to work more on my technique, because I've been trying to hone that now, but it would be better if I honed it earlier. But yeah.
Mm.
I would tell my past self to enjoy the process. I think that's something that I've really learned with being in this band. You know, I think that in my high school band, I was so focused on like, oh, it'd be so sick if we like, you know, if I became a professional musician and like did all this stuff. You know, I've for a very long time now, I've always wanted to be doing music for my life, but I didn't really realize like what it meant, like what that process really meant. And like, you know, being with this band and, you know, kind of creating our whole image and all this stuff, together has been really like interesting to like see the whole process and to be enjoying that. It's hard, but that's what it's all about. Like, I'd rather not be someone that has overnight success, and I'd rather have this indie grind where we build up, we build our community up. Everyone is going to the shows rather than, kind of creating this fake hype or something like that, like some rappers do, and I just wanted to be really genuine and just like enjoy the process and enjoy like everyone that we met along the way too.
I don't think I'd say anything just because I think like everything I did had a purpose and like I wouldn't like say anything like practice more or like focus on like making beats or anything. I would just say like nothing because I feel like everything I did like
I'm
led-
perfect, bro. Like, there's nothing I could have done in the past. Like, everything I've done has just it's led me to today. It's true though. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting
Yeah,
way of putting it. Can't go wrong with it.
I would say this is more of like a life lesson, but if you want it, you gotta go get it. You know what I mean? For me, Honey Boy is like music in general. For me, has always been like a creative outlet, and that's all it was. I would like every morning I'd wake up and play piano for like 30, 45 minutes. Like, my family would hear it in the morning, but I never played for anyone. And like drumming, like, yeah, I played in jazz band, like I played for people, but at the end of the day, it was kind of like, I want to like make music or do music because it's like an escape from like from just school, from like just life. So, when I came to Cal Poly, I never had any intention to like create music and, have it stream on Spotify and Apple Music and, be like communicating with various collaborative artists and like posting stuff on social media. But now that I am, it's like, wow, like you are like you're surrounded by amazing people and you can do that. Like you're like you guys make amazing things. Like, we make amazing things together. And just showing that like the passion. I think that's like, if you're passionate about something, you gotta just do it. You gotta go all the way in. And like, now we're at the point where we're all putting in 100% effort. Like, we're really trying with regards to just jams, meetings, like, and it's honestly amazing. Like, it's just crazy to see that develop. So if I had to give myself any advice, it would be, if you want it, like, if you really want something, you should go get it. Yeah, that's it.
It's very, 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 very wise words to leave the people of YouTube with. If you want something, go get it. It's very possible.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Manifestation is real. I don't want to be one of those people that are just like manifestation, but there is some truth to it. You like,
That's all.
you surround yourself. You hone in on your skills. You do that hard work that no one likes to do, and then you surround yourself with other people that did that shit. It's like you're gonna be successful in life if you really, surround yourself with like-minded individuals like that. So
Yeah, and I mean, like, we're already, like, to be honest, like, we're all already very successful because we make music that we love. So like, there's like, our success is already like there. I don't really, like, all the numbers, or like, we could have, I don't even know, like, you can get more streams or you could like be in like whatever. But I'm as successful as I'm going to be right now. And I know that that's how the entire band feels. Like, it's just so like surreal, just like actually being with you guys. Like, I'm about to finish my homework and just go jam with you guys tonight. Like, that's like what success is. So, I mean, that's what it is to us, at least. But yeah.
Yeah, that's once again from Matt. Very, very, very wise words.
Yeah.
Out there tonight. Very nice.
Matt the wise man, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I guess looking ahead here, I know you guys have your debut EP coming out soon. I don't know if you guys have anything you'd like to comment on that, or if you guys are keeping that under wraps. It's totally fine. But if anyone has anything to say, go right ahead.
yeah, I'll just say that we're working on it right now, and we have potentially another single to drop before that EP. So we've been working on these old songs. We're writing some new ones. We'll see what ends up on the EP. But we would love to release bigger work of music, of art. So that's we're just gearing up for it. We just want to take our time and not feel completely rushed to finish it, and make sure that everyone's super happy with the outcome, with the art, with the mix, and we don't want to feel too rushed with it. So we're just excited to show everyone it once it's finished. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then I guess to cap off the interview here, like what other music goals would you guys say that you have for the upcoming future? Obviously the EP is one.
I have a pretty big aspiration. It's to stage dive. I think that would be kind of cool. Like when in person gets back in, I've always wanted to jump in and get carried, but that's my aspiration.
Yeah, I just want to write more songs. As much as
An album, maybe an album.
Yeah, like an album. I mean, this is like probably a far
My
out.
long term.
Yeah,
future
it's
goal.
a long one. Yeah, like Reese is saying, but like releasing like a concept album, that's my dream in life. Like,
What would the concept be? What would you guys be thinking of? Like right off the
the
top of your head?
concept is the concept. That'll be the concept. Is the concept.
Stage diving.
Stage dive.
So a concept album about stage diving, and then you play it while you're stage diving. I mean, how much more meta could you be, right?
Guys, that was a great idea right there. He should get credits. Writing credits right there.
That's crazy.
I
Maybe
do demand 5% of the royalties.
Ooh.
I hope that they'll give me that little bit of.
Steep price. Oh my gosh.
Can we at least settle at 2.5?
I hit you with $5. I got $5 with me right now. All Venmo.
$5.
That's great.
I don't know. Like for me, it's just all about self-improvement. Is like improving the way that I make music, like to be able to like write, produce, and mix like a song by myself. That would be awesome, because then I would be able to help the band so much with like what I know, and we'd be able to keep costs down, and like that's like my long-term goal, is to become like really good at what I do, so I can be of a lot of help to like other people and myself. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, that's great. Well, once again, Matt, Ari, Reese, Grady, thank you guys again for sitting down, and everybody, please go run up Da Vinci. Link is down in the description. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.